All right, this week we are going to get the Rambler out of the garage, get our black Chevy C10 in the garage, get it cleaned up, and hopefully fix the clutch issues. Then there may be a couple other things we do along the way, like maybe getting some parts for the Rambler. We'll take you guys along for that. And I think we're finally going to go pick up my 1970 MGB. I hope. I haven't seen it since 2019, and I'm definitely ready to see it. So let's get to it. Well guys, first thing we gotta do is I started to do the water pump to in fact discover that I do have the wrong water pump and that one will not bolt on the car. So it's gonna get the pulley and stuff thrown back on it, and we're gonna go from there. But hopefully before the end of this video, while I don't plan on getting the stuff put on, I do believe I have a lead on a new transmission and possibly a water pump for this car. So a guy in Pennsylvania happens to have, for sure has the transmission, we've already made a deal on it, and possibly has a water pump or two laying around that he's going to check on for me and let me know that he's going to sell me one of them too. So fingers crossed, hopefully the last two major pain in the ass mechanical problems with this car will be solved by one guy. And as you know, I said he was in Pennsylvania. He just happens to be coming through Ohio to go to Detroit, Michigan on Thursday to Wednesday night for a show of some sort up in Detroit, Michigan on Thursday. So he is going to meet me in Toledo. So instead of me having to drive almost 5 hours to him, I've only got to drive 45 minutes to Toledo, get the stuff. He has some money that he makes along the way. Everyone is happy. But for now, the old Rambler's got to come out of the garage so the C10 can come in. As of right now, while I'm filming this particular part, the clutch, slave, and master cylinder for the truck have not shown up, but it's a Sunday. The parts are supposed to be here by Tuesday. My first day off is, I believe, is Tuesday. So it should be here in time for me to get started. And then Thursday morning, we are supposed to finally go pick up my MGB. I am excited to see it. I have not seen it since my buddy started doing body work on it. So hopefully it is worth the wait. You guys will find out with me though. So I'll be taking you over there with me and probably showing you me loading it up. I don't know how much filming I'll do while I'm there because obviously it's not my place. I don't want to film without his permission. And as of right now, I don't have that because I haven't asked for it. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If I can show you guys, I will show you guys. If I can't, well, you'll see more of it when we get it back here sitting right there. So, what are you doing over there, Tiny Tot? Sneezing on my magnets? That's good. Yep, that's what they need. They definitely need more boogers on them. That'll make them stick better. That'll make them stick better. All right, let's see what we can get done. I was going to start on some stuff today. Now that I'm home from work and I got 4 days off. But as you can tell, it's raining, and a lot of what I need to do to get started on the truck, I need to be able to do outside. And I don't want to do it and get in the rain to do it. But I did decide to go ahead and move the Rambler, because before I went to work yesterday, I went ahead and got the pulley put back on. But apparently didn't get the belt line back up right. And she's off by a little bit. Started up and backed it out. The next thing I knew, she was smoking, like smoking hard too. I was like I could smell something burning, so I popped the hood quick, freaking out, thinking I caught like a wire on something. Nope, just the belt eating itself. So let's give you guys a quick rundown on how things are going right now too. Y'all know about the Rambler, transmission issues, water pump issues. Now it needs a belt. amongst some other various little things that still need done, this thing, I don't know what I've managed to do, but apparently I have sucked something up into the carburetor that at this point is not letting it run right at all. Will not rev above 3,000 RPM. Well, it will, but it runs like crap when it does. And if I sit there and like hand choke the carb to where it wants to die, let off, and it just pulls some stuff through it or something, it'll clear up a little bit, but the moment you put it under load, it runs like shit. So I think this is setting until I can get a Weber carb swap for it. Has a warranty, nothing wrong with it. Love driving it. Kind of find it boring anymore though if I drive it all the time. Definitely at a weird place with it. Still my favorite car to drive at the moment when weather allows. Just because we all fit in it well enough. And I love driving out the top down. Hands down, best thing ever to do, driving in a convertible. Still does need a front strut though. Not caring, still enjoying the car. Hoping the wheel doesn't fall off. Hopefully what the whole video is going to be about. Well, I shouldn't say the whole video because, well, we are probably going to be picking up my MG in this video. My red MG, which you guys have not seen. I wish I had some video before when I dropped it off, but well, I don't, because that was in 2019, back before I even thought about doing any of this. Yeah, but hopefully here in a little bit we're going to be pulling this out of the hole. I want to go through, it's hard to tell in the video right now because it's wet, but the paint is trashed. I know I can't save that, but I can make the headlights look better. I can clean up the wheels. We might try repainting the front bumper. Definitely going to put the clutch, slave, and master cylinder in this video, as long as they show up on time. They're supposed to be here today or tomorrow. Want to get the bed cleaned out. I want to get the interior cleaned up. Basically, I'm going to be prepping this thing to hopefully fix it to where it drives again and post it for sale. So, because I don't really have a need for it. A neighbor needed some money. I knew the truck pretty well. Had a rough idea what I needed to fix it, because he thinks it needs a clutch, but with the way it acts like it's actually the slave cylinder's bad, not the clutch. So I figure if I can get it cleaned up, that means I've got a short bed, standard cab, 2-wheel drive, 5-speed, small block Chevy truck for sale. I know I can make money on this. That's kind of my goal. So if one of my buddies doesn't want it and I more or less break even, because I have a terrible habit of selling things to my friends for what I have in them, even though this thing I know I could probably double my money on. So we'll see what happens. Although there is one particular friend I know watching this video, me and him will have to work out a deal. I ain't just breaking even on it if it's him. No offense, Nino, but you're gonna have to pay up, bud. Then we'll get up here. The MG. This has been, and probably once it's fixed again, is my favorite car to really daily drive. I'm still having engine issues with it. At this point, I've determined either I think I have an intake leak causing all the issues, but that doesn't explain the oil pressure, or I've hurt the bottom end. Either way, it's not right. But my buddy Ryan does have a new engine for me. We're just trying to determine whether or not it's coming with a car. So there may be a third one of these floating around, but it's going to be purely a parts car for this one, my red one, and then I'll probably sell some of the parts back to him for his GT that he has still. The wife's van. These two are two I don't really talk about a lot on the channel, because I mean, it's a minivan. The hope is here before long. I got a couple more things I need to pay off, and then after that, the minivan is disappearing, and we're replacing it with a RAV4. And the Tundra Tow Pig. I love that truck. It is by far probably the best vehicle we own as far as usability goes. because it does everything. It has never once given us a problem. The 2 issues it's had, one should have been way minor than we made it out to be, and the other one was a warranty recall problem that was fixed within a couple days. So other than that, the thing has just been maintenance here and there, and it's not even had a lot of maintenance done in like the 40,000 miles I think we've put on it. So we've put more miles on this than every other car in the driveway put together. Because anytime we go out of town long distance, we normally take the truck. Anytime I need to tow something that's normally not in town, obviously I'm using the truck. The truck is daily driven by my wife, and if she's not daily driving it, it's because I normally have it. So it sees the most drive time of every vehicle we own, which is why it's always in a spot in the driveway where it can get out. And while it was kind of actually broken for a little bit, it sucked because we didn't know what to drive, because that was what we were driving all the time. So the minivan got used a lot more than normal because we couldn't drive the truck. And all it was, we ended up replacing the power steering pump, the whole rack and pinion, both inner and outer tie rod ends, the power steering lines. We replaced everything that was steering related because it had a hard spot. It had set over the winter because we weren't driving it in the winter, because we had this van and another van, and we drove them in the winter instead because we didn't want to tear up the truck, and we didn't want to get it all rusty by driving it around salt. Well, the like U-joint thing that's in the steering shaft had rusted up in a spot, so every time you'd get about a half turn in, it would want to lock up the steering wheel, and we could not figure it out. We thought something was wrong with the rest of the power steering system. I ended up taking it to a buddy who installed everything for us because he even didn't realize what it was. And then finally, when he's like, dude, I have put everything in it we've had, it didn't change anything. And then he got to messing with it. He finally like really looked at it on his rack and figured out that he's like, dude, this whole time it's been a $75 part, and we've sunk like $1,100 into the thing. So we felt really dumb once it was fixed, but what are you gonna do? Yeah. So there's the rundown of everything that's here. The Corolla is waiting on it's any more that gets done on it. I need engine mounts figured out, and well, one of the engine mounts is actually in the mail with the clutch stuff for the truck, so that will be here today or tomorrow. Then I can actually get all the engine mounts bolted down in this car, because what I really need to do at this point is I've got to physically build an engine mount for this side. Now what I am doing to start with is I am getting the rubber mount that physically bolts to the car. Then I'm going to make a bracket that comes off of the engine that bolts to that mount. Then from there, the front mount, I need to do some re-drilling or something to get it lined up a bit better. And I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the cross member and notch it a little bit. Because I have since figured out why I've been having issues mounting this engine, and they're for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 was everything I looked at for mounting this transmission in the Corolla said I could use Celica engine mounts. I had tons of Celica engine mount stuff laying around. It had never crossed my mind they meant for a 5th gen Celica, not a 6th gen Celica. So none of the mounts I had were actually meant to make this work, which is a big problem that I've been slowly working my way through. Problem number 2, everything I looked at about mounting this transmission in this car didn't have this engine bolted to it. It had a 4-cylinder bolted to it instead, which has a slightly different oil pan that doesn't set as low by the transmission as this oil pan does. The 5S that's bolted to that factory, it has an inspection cover there that you can unbolt and you don't really need, which makes more clearance. This doesn't have that. the block is physically still bolting to the bottom of the transmission. Actually, it's not the block, it's the bottom of the oil pan is physically bolting to the transmission still. So one of the sides that are coming off of it is actually hitting the cross member. So I'm not going to pull it back out. I refuse to pull this engine back out. But I think what I'm going to have to do is unbolt the cross member enough to where I can drop it down and notch that part of the subframe. It's not going to be a real big notch. It's only going to be about maybe an inch wide. And it might just flatten out that section of the cross member on the top side. The bottom side will still have everything left alone. So it's not really going to take any strength out of that cross member. But I think I'm going to have to do it to make everything work right. And along with that, as I'm going to go ahead and fill the engine mounts, it's basically, I want to turn them basically kind of into poly mounts. And by how you're doing that is the kind of hack way of doing it, because I can't find inserts for these engine mounts for this car, is you buy 3M window weld and then you just pack it in and let it dry, and it basically turns it into a poly mount or a poly insert for the rubber mount. So I think both of those things are going to have to happen in order for it to be mounted properly, because this engine's way heavier than this factory rubber mounts want to handle, as I'm discovering. But this mount being in there could also help with that, because right now without that mount there, it's putting a lot of extra stress on those front and rear mounts to actually hold up the entire weight of the engine. So I get that done, that might change some things. But overall, I'm not expecting it to help a ton. And with the torque this engine makes, I have a feeling I'm going to have the same problem in here that I did in the Celica, which was I was shredding, I think it was the rear engine mount, or no, I shredded a couple of the front engine mounts as well, because every time I'd launch it hard, it was literally just ripping the rubber apart. Now, given none of those mounts were ever brand new, they were always spare mounts I had laying around. So a brand new mount might not have that issue, but I already know if they're poly, they won't have that problem. So we're going to fix that and just deal with a little bit of the rattliness we'll get from it being hard mounted pretty much. But after that, I've also discovered a couple other mistakes I've made along the way. One of which I don't think is going to turn into a huge deal, but I actually have to get 5th gen axle shafts for it, because at least I think I'm going to need to. I'm going to have to try to test fit at least the passenger side one that I have for a 6th gen, because obviously I made the rear engine mount for a 6th gen axle, but that axle is almost an inch longer than a 5th gen. So I'm betting if they were using all 5th gen mounts, they were probably using 5th gen axles too. That being said, on my Celica, I always had issues with my passenger side CV shaft being too short with as low as I wanted to be, while still keeping everything like correctly cambered and everything. So maybe if I'm running the same height on this, I won't have that issue. We're going to figure this out as we go, but I really would like to have this at least mobile before snow hits. Not necessarily daily drivable, but at least you guys get to see a video of it moving under its own power. Not completely holding my breath on that, because there's still a few things I've got to get figured out. I have also since kind of mocked the radiator in place and realized that I cannot run fans on the front of it. I got to run fans on the backside, because there is not enough room in the front for the fans to fit. But yeah, all right, there we go. There's the rundown on everything that's here. The Nova is over at my brother-in-law's house. He is currently working on getting everything cleaned up to drop the LS in. It sounds like he's planning on having the LS in by the end of the week. He sends me any stuff on that, I'll try to update you guys on it. But for right now, with the rain, I'm going to call it quits for the minute. Go inside, get a little bit of sleep, since I just got done working a 12-hour shift. And I'll bring you guys back when I am pulling the truck out of the hole. So, enough of my rambling. We'll be back in a little bit. Getting ready to power wash the engine bay. Here's a little bit of a before. I'm going to try to set the camera up and record it, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to, being where it's sitting, without running the risk of getting my phone soaked at the same time. So, but here's at least a before. We'll see. I'll bring you back for an after, if nothing else. Alright, looking a little bit better. Not perfect, but I wasn't aiming for perfect. I was aiming for not as dirty as it was. Now, let's see if we can get the thing to start. Wish me luck. Alright, I don't know how well recording it's going to go. Fucking motorcycles. But I'm going to attempt to replace the door pins in here, because the door pins in this thing are shot. And as you can see, that one's been replaced with all thread. It's not even the actual door pin anymore. So, wish me luck. I'm going to replace that one, and we might try to replace the bottom one. I don't know. Bottom one might just go with the truck. We'll see what happens. We're going to start with the top one, though. this a second shot now that I'm done with the spam call that interrupted the camera. Hold on. Well, after trying to do this and getting interrupted, I think 3 times now, and forgetting to hit record after, you guys have pretty much missed the whole process, unfortunately. I don't know if I'm doing the lower one yet. Probably just gonna throw it in the truck and go, here you go, you get a lower hinge pin with your truck. Because, pretty sure I mentioned it already, but the plan is I'm fixing some things on it right now to, in turn, hopefully just sell it, because I don't really have a need for it. Honestly, didn't really have a want for it when I got it. Neighbor slash buddy was in a bind and needed some cash for some things. Offered to sell me the truck cheap, so here we are with me having a Chevy truck. So, kind of a, depending on how you want to look at it, a right place, right time scenario. Kind of a, here I am with a Chevy truck scenario. And that clip broke. Ugh. I mentioned I hate Chevy trucks, guys. Let's see if the door works. We'll just do that. We'll figure that out from there. Maybe I'll just buy us another hinge pin kit. Have parts. Wow, the door doesn't line up for shit. Alright, now I gotta figure that out, because now the door really doesn't line up for shit, and the bottom one don't look that bad. So, I'll be back. I just keep shutting off my video, and I don't know why. It's starting to get on my nerves. But, yeah. So, depending what happens, I'm probably going to try changing those parts, just because with the way it feels, it does not feel like a clutch. It feels very much like the master cylinder or the slave cylinder. Slave cylinder is not doing their job. So, because it takes quite a bit of effort to push on it for no real feedback in return. So, I have a very hard time believing that it's anything but one of them. And considering the way he talked, I don't think he replaced it as a whole. I think he replaced the parts individually, which means he had to have bled the system himself. And this is a non-bleedable system, or not, at least not a easily bleedable system. So what I ordered was a complete setup that was already pre-bled, just bolted onto the truck. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I'm not holding my breath that it was necessarily done correctly. Not saying he's not capable of doing it correctly. Just, said, if it was better, there wouldn't be that much play in the pedal before anything happens. So, that, maybe he doesn't have something adjusted correctly. Maybe that's something I need to do. So, I'll play with the adjustments too. Maybe that's part of the problem. That literally just crossed my mind that could be a thing. So, alright. And then the wife went in to change because he left me a whole bunch of stuff in the bed. So, yeah. Kind of need to get that cleaned out. I was going to go ahead and start with like the valve covers and maybe do the carburetor and this power steering line, things of that nature. But, you know, that'll make it run better and leak less and things like that. So I've decided I'm going to start on the headlights instead. just because it'll make it look better, and I want it to look better right now first. No, honestly, I just don't feel like doing that yet, and I'm not 100% sure this is even the line that leaks, or the correct line. If I can get it unhooked. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic. I think it is the right line. But yeah, I don't feel like doing that yet. So we're going to start on the headlights because, well, headlights will make me feel better. So there's a couple ways to do what we're going to do. The way I kind of like the most is Mother's Mag and aluminum polish because it works well. It's going to get most of the yellowing off, clear the headlights up, and kind of polish them a little bit all at the same time. The best way to do it, and I don't have the stuff to do it right now, so that's why I'm not doing it this way, is realistically a can of rattle can spray paint and a red Scotch-Brite pad. Scotch-Brite pad to clean everything off, and the clear coat clears the lens back up. I'll probably show you that on another car. I'm not going to show you on this because, well, like I said, I ain't got the stuff to do it. But that's what works the best. I actually need to redo it on the wife's minivan because I've been doing this a lot on her van, and I've not actually... I've never actually done her headlights that way, even though they've needed done that way. So... Well, now that I messed up my can of Mother's, I guess I'll go ahead and get started. Dang it. So the wife reminded me, I actually have these nifty, well, kind of crappy, honestly, sanding sponges. I have a box of like 200 of them. I think I bought 2 boxes of them, didn't I? But I only buy 1 box. I should have bought 2 boxes.
We only bought 1 box because there's like 200 of those sponges.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to try this, and I found a can of clear coat. So the only thing I'm kind of missing is some tape, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. That difference from farther away is a little harder to see. But here's the headlight now after just a couple. That was literally a minute and 30 seconds of rubbing versus how it looks on this side. I know it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but you can physically see the light bulbs in there now versus before. Completely fogged over. Very much better. Realistically, these are bad enough. I need to do it the other way. So, probably going to go ahead and take 3 seconds, run down to advance, grab a couple pieces of Scotch-Brite and grab a can of Rattle Can Clear and actually get them cleaned up the way I want to. So, I'll be back. Here we go. For only a couple minutes of actual work. I still have to do that one and these side marker lights yet, but I wanted to go ahead and do these ones as a whole so you can watch me do the whole thing. I'm going to speed up you guys watching the process of doing this one. I'll probably go ahead and just do this side off camera and show you the whole complete. Then I'll probably end up, I'm debating on, even though the paint is kind of shot on a lot of places, going around and just kind of giving the whole truck a light buff to kind of brighten the black up a little bit. So when I do that, I'll go over the grill, and that's how I'm going to clean off all the overspray, because there's not really going to be a lot of it. It's going to be noticeable. You do not need the dirt on the garage door. You need to calm down, ma'am. No need to be a little Karen. But okay, now to get those done and move on to something actually productive. All right, that looks much better. Like I said, I know it's kind of a hard thing to tell on camera, but man, does it look better. Let's go see how the bed's looking too. That shuts so well now. Hey, there is a bed floor, not just mud. Oh, you dented the floor. That just took $500 off the price of the truck. Way to go.
Way to go, call me an elephant without calling me an elephant.
Didn't say it was your weight. You're the one that said it was your weight. Hey,
you're the one that said I pre-dented it.
You have anger issues. That's stomping. I know what that is. So. All right. So.
While I'm up this way.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and
shoot the roof of the truck too. All right. She's going to wash the top of the truck. So, not trying to avoid the work in the engine bay, guys, but I'm kind of trying to avoid the work in the engine bay, guys. We'll let her get that done. Maybe I can con her into working on the interior too while I work on the engine bay. So, kind of tag teaming some stuff on it because, well, I wanted to get a much earlier start today than I did, and kind of didn't because I fell asleep. So, hey, that window's down. Okay. So she's helping me kind of get back to where I wanted to be by the end of the day because, well, I've got 4 days off. Today was supposed to be mostly about the truck. Tomorrow's kind of about the truck. But I've got to go pick up the stuff for the Rambler tomorrow night. The third day is me going and getting the MG back. And hey, that is metal. Third day is me going to get the MG back and possibly helping my buddy Ryan go scrap a Mazda. Then doing a little bit of work to the MG because I'm pretty sure Friday morning, which is my last day off, there's a car show for an event called Balloon Fest here in my town. So I'm probably going to try to take the MG to the car show. So realistically, out of my 4 days, I've got 2 days to do everything I wanted to do on this and get it filmed. So I'm procrastinating kind of hard, and I really need to stop. All right, I'm going to shut up now, and we're going to get the hood open on this and get to work if I can do it without getting rained on by everything that she just did. All right, there we go. I'm not saying she's built now, but she's got some fancy valve covers, intake, or air intake cleaner, and an aluminum intake. Oh, she's a set of headers away from being built, guys. She's gonna have all the power. Yeah, no, I can't even joke that well. I can't remember. It's got a Dominator intake on it, which realistically isn't a bad intake. It's a Holley Dominator intake on a otherwise stock Chevy small block. So I still got to do this valve cover yet. And I'm not doing the valve covers to really clean it up per se. I'm doing the valve covers because, well, both valve cover gaskets leak. And if I'm going to have them off and I've got a decent looking set laying around, I might as well throw them on. It's kind of what's happening here. So this side I think is going to take me a little bit longer because obviously there is way more crap in the way. And I want to see if I can't do a little bit of something about the wiring, because there's a lot of extra wiring running through this particular spot that isn't needed. She's trying to help. Oh yeah, let's see if that's still done. So she has added some custom touches to the truck. So the price has now went up by $1,000, just because it is now custom graphicked by the one and only Skylar. So no, don't be taking everyone you take off. I'm losing money now. You can't be taking them back off. You got to add to it. You got to put them back on there. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, I've apparently offended the artist, and she is now undoing her work. So maybe the price won't be going up. Dang it. This side's turning in a little bit more of a pain than I was hoping it was going to be. But while I'm doing that, I did get her to start on the interior. So she is working on going through and vacuuming up everything right now, cleaning up the seat. This is all the crap she's pulled out of everything that we get to decide what's happening with. And there's the dashboard and everything that needs done. So she's making a little bit faster progress than I am, but I'd almost argue what she's doing is easier. Although she would probably say she'd rather change the valve cover. So I don't know who's winning in this situation. I don't think either one of us is winning. I think we're both kind of losing at this point. But yeah, figured I'd bring you guys back for a little bit of an update. So, alright, I want to get this done. Oh, and I took the old air cleaner off because this used to be a TBI truck, the throttle body injection, and now it's got an old Quadra-Drunk on it instead. But I do have a nice shiny Holly setting up on the shelf over there for it that, depending how time goes this week, is going on the truck, as well as maybe the that Street Fire distributor I have laying up there on the shelf too. Not necessarily because it needs it, but because, well, if I got them, why not? So, yeah. Alright, I'll bring you back in a minute. She's working on cleaning the steering wheel. That foam was white. I went to go get some vacuum line, and she told me to get her some Tough Stuff stain remover, which I assumed was mostly for the carpet. And I walked up to the... Ew.
But, hold on.
Ew.
Hold on. This has actually been cleaned.
Yeah.
It's actually red in there.
Wow. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew, this truck's dirty. Alright, I'm done with that now. I'm going to go up here and do my vacuum line. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. With literally everything in the way. I went and got a new vacuum line because... honestly, I'm trying to figure out how the hell this thing was even running, because, stupid freaking truck. Kurt, why do you work on lowered cars all the time? Kurt, why do you lower everything? Because I'm short and that's the only way I can reach. Crap. Should need a chair to reach the goddamn engine in the car. No, I got this yelling too. Oh, there we go. One less vacuum leak now. Probably the only thing that's not leaking, but hey, something. Were you yelling with Dad too?
And Bubby's back.
Yeah, Bubby's back. Yep, Bub's back. Oh, alright. So, figured the next vacuum leak I will work on is, you know, that. Because that's connected directly to the back of the manifold. That's definitely a vacuum leak. That could explain a lot of things. Holy crap. The things people drive. This was on the road. Literally right up till the clutch went out, with things being the way they are. Before we even brought it down to the house, I had to fix a fuel leak, because that was spraying / dripping fuel directly on the exhaust manifold. So that was only a matter of time before it caught fire. This, I don't know how that was sealing anything. Same goes for that. Oh, hey, oop, about dropped you guys. I'm pretty sure that should be blocked off too. Like, how is this thing running? I don't understand. Like, and it ran decent. Or I shouldn't say ran decent, it runs decent. Like, I am the confused. Alright, well, I'm gonna find, I think I know where the clamps are. Let's go see if we can find a clamp. Let's see how much of this I can do one-handed. I guess that's the next goal. There's no clamps up there that's gonna fit. But in one of these drawers, in one of these, aha. So, I bought these random boxes off of a guy forever ago. Just full of oddball things. That one's full of toggle switches. I think one or two of these is full of fusible links. This one is full of assorted bags of zip ties, crimp connectors, screws, and hose clamps. And yeah, both of those are full of those. There we go. I don't know. He was trying to make like little repair kit things to sell, I guess, or something like that. And surprise, surprise, that didn't take off. I don't know. But I've used a couple of them. I like grabbing the hose clamps out of them because it's got some decent hose clamps in it. So let's see here. Oh, did I bring? Yes, I did. Now let's see if the right one's even on here. Of course, the right one's missing. Oh, so we need a flathead screwdriver. All right. Is that a flathead of them? Nope, that is not a flathead. That is a Phillips head. My screwdriver assortment's looking rather shameful. All right, this is the point where I need both hands now. So I will bring you guys back once I get this on, since we both know I'm not going to be able to reach it. All right, we are calling it quits for the night. I wasn't quite the progress I wanted to make for the day, but honestly, if she wouldn't have helped me, I'd be nowhere near where I wanted to be. With her help, I've actually gotten pretty close. I would have liked to got the power steering line done, but after fighting, and then modifying a wrench somewhere in that pile, it's stripped on the back of the housing now. So I've got to probably try to get in there with a pair of vice grips to break the thing free, so I can get that done. So that's going to be a tomorrow me problem, not a tonight me problem, because tonight me is tired and hungry. We got the bed cleaned out, which makes me happy, and the bed actually looks a lot better than I expected it to look. One of the neighbors drove by, told me he thinks he has a set of tires, which makes me extremely happy, because that's something I'd like to replace on it. The door functioning properly makes me happy. And hang on here, let me get it where there's some light on this. And here's the interior so far. I wish I had more video from prior to her starting on the interior, but the seat looks a hell of a lot better. The carpet looks a lot better, although I am going to I got some Tough Stuff carpet cleaner. I am going to try to hit some spots on the carpet with that to clean the carpet up a little bit more. Still need to do the dash, but when she started, you couldn't tell there was red in the steering, or in the horn button on the steering wheel, if that tells you anything. And there's still probably another layer or 3 of filth on there, and there's still some filth. That looks like rust on there. That's not rust, that's grime on the shifter, but it's getting better too. So overall, it is way better inside than it was before, and that is all because she did it. I hadn't even had a chance to touch it yet. So the hopeful goal for tomorrow is a fixed power steering pump. Fingers crossed the parts show up for the clutch and stuff, and that fixes the problem. Even though he says he did it, I don't fully trust it because there's a lot of play in the pedal. I looked for some adjustment in the pedal too. There is no adjustment points. Yeah. Get it. No, someone in a Lincoln trying to drive like a hard ass. Woo.
These are nice.
Yeah, she's taking the mats inside to soak them after we take showers at night. So that'll get done. I'd like to do something about the front bumper because the rest of the front end of the truck doesn't look terrible. The front bumper looks terrible. The hood's not great, but the front bumper is definitely bad. Like I said, if the clutch doesn't, if the master and slave cylinder replacement doesn't fix the clutch issue, I don't know how much further we're going to go with this before I just pretty much set it over there and on Facebook Marketplace with a for sale sign in it. Just because I'm not in love with this thing at all. Like, it's not a bad truck. It's a good truck for somebody. For a hot second, I thought maybe that someone was me. And I had a bunch of ideas in my head. And then I very quickly realized I have too many projects. And this is not one of them I want it to be. So, yeah. All right.
There's only room for one bow tie in your heart.
Yeah, it's the Nova. This one's definitely not one of them. And don't get me wrong, I like it. It's cool. Lowered about 3-4 inches. Cowl induction hood, new paint job. Wider tires.
Well, she's making shapes with her chain.
And I don't know, maybe an LS. I could enjoy it. But in its current form, it's not for me. So I was even watching some of the Mortsky repair videos where he turned one of these into a daily driver for himself. And I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. So this is going to be the rare time where you see me. I'm literally fixing something just to get rid of it. But that being said, this should make a decent flip vehicle. Or even a decent trade vehicle for some other stuff that I might want instead. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And obviously, I don't see you guys finding out what happens to it in this video. I don't see it selling by the end of this video, since the end of this video will be me getting the work done. But when it happens, I'll let you know. I'll let you know the outcome. I'll let you know the grand total of what we got invested and what the outcome of me getting rid of it was. Whether that be a monetary thing or a trade value thing. We'll cross that bridge. But yeah, alright. Enough of my rambling. She wants to take showers. She wants food. I'm tired.
Feeling like a cigarette ashtray.
Yeah. I didn't realize Bruce smoked. That was new info. So, yeah. Alright, and on that note, see you guys in the morning. Good morning again, guys. So, this morning, we went ahead and got the power steering line replaced. I had to actually go buy a brand new one because the one he gave me with the truck does not fit. So, which isn't a bad thing. So now it's got a brand new one, which I'm okay with. I've already ran some more fluid into the system. It seems like it's acting okay now. I think the next thing on my list is going to be, I don't know. I lost my train of thought on what I was thinking. Oh, I need to go get a new fuel line. Some new fuel line. Because this one, I have trimmed it like 3 times up here. Every time I trim it, and I think I got it to where it's not leaking, I find another crack. And now it's also leaking from down here somewhere. And every time it leaks, it's normally spraying almost directly at the exhaust manifold every time. So, not dealing with that anymore. It needs replaced. It's getting replaced. I'm done with it. For lack of a better way of putting it, I am tired of it. I am not going to burn this truck down over this damn fuel line. I'm over it. Honestly, if I had the time, if I was going to keep it and I had the time, effort, and energy, I would probably go get some hardline and just hardline the whole damn thing in and be done with it. Well, hard line it up to where I only need, you know, a small section of hose to maybe have the filter in, and that'd be it. Just going to the Holly carburetor instead of this old Quadra junk, which I think is on the list to get replaced today, maybe, if I can get that kind of motivation in. But the problem is, if I'm going to pull the carburetor and replace it, I kind of want to go ahead and pull the distributor and replace it with my new one as well. And I don't know if I want to fight with both of those today if the clutch can't get fixed. So if I can't fix the clutch with the parts that I ordered, I don't know if I want to take any more time on the engine right now. So I will get the rest of the truck cleaned up, but I don't necessarily know if I want to take any more time on the engine right now. So it's kind of, I'm waiting for one so I can possibly do the other. I also want to throw a new set of spark plugs in it too, because I don't think it's missing, but it runs like it's got a little bit of a miss. So it's, I don't know. It's a hard to say. It doesn't run bad, but it could run better. But with the amount of vacuum lines leaks I have found, I would not be surprised if underneath of the, you know, carburetor with its what appears to be 2 to 3 gaskets is probably leaking as well. So, you know, there's that. Me and the guys at Advance were joking around yesterday, having a laugh about the fact that this is basically a bone stock 350 for all intents and purposes of what I can tell, and yet it has a Holly Dominator intake on it. That is, it's got a Holly Dominator intake with a stock Quadrajet carb and stock exhaust manifolds. This thing can't breathe up top. It can't get the air out that it is getting in, but my God, can it breathe okay in the middle? Things people do sometimes just get me to no end. Oh, hey, look, and the throttle return spring is hooked to the... Yeah, that's awesome. Always hook your return spring directly to your radiator hose. That's the best way to handle that. Definitely don't do anything different than that. Do exactly that every time. That is the perfect way to do it. That's... I mean, it's worked. Fucking truck. And for any of you thinking that, oh, he's working outside, so the garage must not be getting dirty. No, you'd be wrong. I still have the stuff laying back there from working on the Rambler, so I could get the Rambler out of the way to work on this, which realistically, I didn't need the Rambler out of the way. It was fine in the garage. And this is all the tools I was using last night to work on it. And in my frustration this morning of needing the chair that they were all sitting on, I literally just dumped it all on the floor and went, well, that's a mess for later me, and then turned around and started working on the truck. So I think later me is right now me, and I'm going to pick up my tools. Got the tools picked up. I'm happier about that. Table is not getting cleaned off because, well, I don't know. I don't really have a reason. I do know. I think I'm going to pull a bit of a Mortski repair. And I am going to stop and have me something to drink. As he calls it, a sandwich. Given I don't have sandwiches, I have Diet Cokes. So, same difference. But, we gotta figure out what the next move is on the truck. So I don't know exactly what the next thing you guys are going to see me doing is. It's either going to be the parts have shown up and I have started on the clutch, or I'm going to work on finishing cleaning up the outside and spraying off the wheels, because I mean the wheels are the one good looking part of the outside of the truck. So it's going to be one of those two. Don't know rightly which one yet, because, well, I need to feed the kids. The wife wants something to eat while she's at work, so probably should swing through somewhere and get her something. Probably feed the kids too. Then, depending if the parts show up today like they're supposed to, because I don't know when they're going to show up today, depends on whether or not we get to the clutch today. Also depends on whether or not we realistically get to much more on the truck this week or not. Because if those parts don't show up, can't do a lot more that I want to get done. I can get the cleaning done, but I can't get to the drivability part that I want. So, and if I can't get to that, it may just go up for sale as it sets, and I just throw the parts in there and go, I think this is going to fix the problem. I don't know for sure, though. Because to me, it feels like there's got to be error in the line somewhere, or the master or the slave, one of the two, is not working properly. He says that he replaced them. I question whether or not he did it properly too, so we'll see. It very well could just be the clutch itself too is going bad. With the way it's acting, I have a hard time believing that. So, because the clutch doesn't seem to slip. If the clutch was slipping, I would agree that, okay, it's the clutch. I've never had one just not disengage. Normally when it refuses to disengage, it's something else with the system, not the clutch itself. Because if it... How do I want to word this? If the clutch itself was bad, in this situation, the clutch would have to be locked up. And it's very rare for a clutch to lock up. Normally when they wear out, they start to slip. This clutch doesn't slip. So, normally at that point, the problem is either something is rusted up and doesn't want to move, causing the issue, or something in the hydraulic system is not pushing it, so it won't release. But I've never had one fail to where the clutch itself is what's causing it to not let it engage and disengage. So, and when it shut off, it goes into all the gears just fine. So, we get in it and we sit down. We are unhooking that battery. I'm not listening to that alarm the entire time. One thing I hate about some of these 90s Chevys, it's a damn alarm. Beep. So annoying. Which most cars have it. So it's not anything new, but these ones just, they're terrible. So annoying. But we're just sitting in it. See, there's... That's second. First, second, third, fourth, overdrive, reverse. It goes into all the gears just fine. So I do not believe it has anything to do with the transmission itself. I think it has everything to do with the clutch and slave cylinder. Because I can't remember if I showed this earlier or not, but there is a ton of play in that system that should not be there. So, for him to have done it right would be very, very surprising. But we'll see. So that's why I'm going to go start with changing them, because I feel like he tried to bleed the system himself, and these systems are notoriously hard to bleed. So I don't feel like he's got it right. That's why, like I said, the stuff I got is all pre-bled. So I do feel like, though, if this fixes the problem and he sees me driving it, he's going to be very upset, because he already tried that and it didn't work. So, but we'll see. So, because once that's done, then we'll get to work on changing the carb into the distributor, because I don't want to spend the time doing those if that's not fixed. So we're also going to end up washing this bay again, because while me washing it the first time was great, that thing sprayed power steering fluid everywhere again when I had to move it. So I want to wash off all the power steering fluid again, and I'm going to soak some things down in degreaser before I actually power wash it this time. The first power washing was more or less so it was generally clean to work in. The second one will actually be to make things look more pretty. So, yeah, I don't know. But if any of you are watching this and decide that, hey, I think I'd like to own that pile of crap, let me know. It's an odd truck, because it's not nearly as bad as it looks, but it is exactly as bad as it looks, because it's a very honest truck in its shape. But the fact that it is a small block 5-speed short bed makes it, this could be a really fun truck. If you're into trucks. I mean, because if you're a big diesel truck guy, this is kind of, your weekend hot rod type deal. I mean, this is what those types of guys normally want. Because they got their big 4-wheel drive, Cummins dually, and, long bed, 4-door trucks they drive for work and everything else. But then, when they want to drive something that feels sporty, this comparatively feels like a sports car. So, yeah. Yes, I'm aware it's not a sports car, but if you stop and think about it, this thing's just got the heavy-duty underpinnings of a Camaro. So, basically, yeah, I'm just saying shit to say shit at this point. So, but personally, if I was to keep it, it needs lowered a lot, like at least 3 inches, because that gap, I should not be able to do this. That lip should be almost on the ground. So this truck needs a 3 to 4 inch drop in the front minimum, and probably equal that in the back minimum. Which this I'd axle flip the rear and then just keep lowering the front till it matched. So I think realistically, if you axle flip it in the rear, put the axle from the bottom of the leaf spring to the top of the leaf spring, that's like a 5-inch drop. So, which the backs of these set up higher than the front. So when you do like a 5 in the back and a 3 in the front, it levels it out. So, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's starting to grow on me, guys. Damn it. I don't want it to, because I want it to leave. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Alright, I need to feed the kids. I gotta shut up. Alright, so I decided to try to get a start on the dashboard. Figured I'd give you guys this view. See how you can see all the brown spots coming out? I haven't even tried scrubbing this yet. And it is already changing to just pure nastiness. This is actually making me think I need to go to Walmart, because I've been wanting to get a steam cleaner for interior work for a while. You can get them for like $35-40. I've just been cheap and lazy about it. Starting to think I finally found the vehicle that is going to make it 100% worthwhile to go get one. Because, damn. Okay, as you can see, there is a little bit of dirt on this rag, but we're going to start with the clean part. Just do a swipe. Hood. Oh. This is terrible. Like, that's just there. Oh, I'm trying to get it going. She did some cleaning around here yesterday, and it still needs more. Like, not to mention the fact I think this thing's stripped, so I'm half tempted to try taking it all the way off, just leaving the bare shaft, bare shaft, and getting a new shift knob for it. Oh, disgusting. Hood. This thing is so bad. It doesn't help, like, you can watch the nicotine just, like, ooze out of everything. Like, it's freaking terrible. Yeah, I think we need to make a run to Walmart. I think this is finally the one that is going to make me buy a steam cleaner. Because I think it's the one that's going to finally really need it. Maybe we'll see about a shift knob while we're out there too. We'll stop at Advance and see about a shift knob. I don't know. That way. I think underneath of this is just... Yeah. Oh yeah. Give that a light rub. Clean up the boot, pull the boot back up where it needs to be. Give it a light rub. That's going to be way better than this grungy thing. Wobble, 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 wobble. I mean, you can clean it up and then throw it in there for whoever gets the truck if they want to put it back on. They'd have the option to put it back on, but I mean, personally, I already think that alone looks better. So, I could be alone on that one though. I don't know. Alright. I'm going to go tell the wife I am going... Inside the glove box doesn't look too bad though. Outside the glove box looks like hell. So, alright. Yep. Walmart it is. My reasonability to be in here is much lower than hers. So, although I do think I am going to go ahead before I leave, take some of this. Maybe try working it in on a couple spots of the carpet here. Although a steam cleaner will probably help with this as well. And frankly, I think this carpet's too far gone anyway. I mean, it's definitely thin in a lot of spots. so I think it's probably wasted effort to spend that kind of time cleaning it, but we'll see. Definitely going to do it to the door panels, but this is not really worth it. Okay, steam cleaner has been acquired. Now to let it warm up and turn green and see how it does. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to do on this dashboard. So I'm not wiping it down with anything else. I mean, now that you can see that it dried, it still doesn't look clean, even after the first coat, after the first wipe down. So it says for best results, use with a microfiber rag to clean off the spray. So that's what we're going to do. I will bring you guys back once this is warmed up and ready to go, and we will see how it does. Videos have made me overly optimistic of watching other people use them, so that's what's made me want one. We'll see how that goes, though. I'm not holding my breath that it works as well as what I've seen in other videos, because, well, they're using nicer equipment. But I am hopeful that it will be a drastic improvement over what is there, which I think water alone could do without it being steam. So we'll see what happens. Oh, it's leaking. I probably should tighten the top down a little bit more, I guess. Maybe I got it too full. Well, it sprayed water everywhere. That's something. Not what I wanted. Okay. I mean, it's starting to get warm though, so. Alright, I think I have it too full. So, we're going to give it a couple minutes and see what happens. So it is working, but it's not working as well as I had hoped. Now, that being said, I did buy a cheap one because it was the only one they had. So that could be part of it. But it is working. But I think what I need to do is I'm going to try spraying some of the cleaner I have on, let it sit and soak in a little bit, and then use the steamer to kind of like activate it a little bit more and see how that works. I think that's going to work better than just using the steamer by itself. That being said, it still pulled a lot more out of what I had already cleaned, but didn't really clean it as well as I was hoping. So, although it does work great on like fabric, so there's that. I can clean up the door panels and stuff, make them look really nice with that thing. But the rest of it, the dash and stuff, is not going to look exactly like I hoped. I'm definitely going to have to treat it with something else after the fact too. So I'll take you, and once I get a little bit more done, I'll take you guys actually inside and show you. So now when it dries a little on the chalky side, but there's no dirt in it. So now I think if I go over it with the VRP, the vinyl rubber plastic shine and protectant that I have, I think that'll come back and look really good now versus that. The just complete disgustingness. So I'm probably going to, because this is going to be a long process doing all this dashboard, doing the shifter and everything too. So I am probably going to do a vast majority of the rest of this off camera, and I'll bring you guys back as I'm doing some more not scrubbing. This thing's disgusting. I don't know how else to put it. It'll look decent when we're done though. I mean, as decent as it can with cracks on the dash and stuff. So, so much work. After a little bit of the VRP, the dash, I still have to finish over here as far as wiping the VRP and stuff on. But the dash is looking much, much better. It is not perfect. I don't think any amount of time on my part that I am comfortable putting into it is going to make it perfect. Mainly because I cannot get inside of these vents 100%. I can make the outsides of the vents look okay, but I can't make the vents themselves look clean to my liking. That being said, the rest of it will do. There is no headliner in it. I don't know if we decide, if it doesn't sell in a hurry, maybe we'll try to clean that off and wrap it in some black vinyl or something. What? I know. Headliners, I know.
I don't want to do any. No, I give up.
It'll only be mildly worse than the door panels.
I give up.
Well, unfortunately, you married someone with a shitbox addiction, so you're stuck with it. Guess the next thing's going to be is trying to clean up these door panels a little bit, but I've been told that before I really do any more, I am required to feed people. So, I guess I'm stopping for right now to feed people.
You realize how many times you've had to stop recording to feed people?
Yes, because you're all hungry all the time. This is the second time today I've had to stop recording to feed people.
So,
why am I the one that's always got to feed everyone? That's the point. Alright. Steam cleaner does work fairly well. I think it's going to work better on things like the carpet and stuff, because it did a decent job on this spot on the door panel than it's going to on a lot of this plastic that is just, the dirt's just so ingrained into it, I think, at this point that there's no getting it 100%. Which sucks, because I was hoping to get it better than it is, but it's,
that's nice.
yeah. And the back of the seat's got that issue from sun fade. It just deteriorated and ate away at it. So, but for what I want it to be and what I'm hoping to get rid of it for, I think it'll be okay. I think it'll still be well within reason. So, alright. I'll bring you guys back when I got more done. Or at least when I'm done feeding people. Well, I've got the whole dash and everything about as good as it's going to get. Working on the windshield now because the windshield was disgusting. Wipe down the door panels a little bit. Still need to do the side windows. But other than the shifter and the shift boot, I'm probably doing going to vacuum the carpet again. The interior is about as clean as it's going to get. I need to figure out something with all that wiring down there. I know this was wiring that had to do with the old TBI setup that was in the truck. So it's kind of unnecessary. So I'm probably just going to like coil it up out of the way. But I've got to figure out what's going on with all that, because that appears to be for trailer brakes. And it doesn't look like hardly any of it's hooked up, or if it is, it's not hooked up right. So, I'd like to fix that and maybe try to get it up off the floor. And then I'm going to attempt to maybe steam clean some of the nastiness out of the carpet to get it to look a little bit better. But overall, I would say, hi baby.
Yeah.
I would say the interior is about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. Partly due to how bad it was, and partly due to this being the end of my motivation for cleaning this interior. Because it was so bad. And I do got to still finish the cover for here, because that thing was disgusting. But the rest of the interior is about as good as it's going to get. So I'm still waiting for a message on what time I am meeting the guy to go get the transmission for the Rambler. But that's supposed to be here soon as well. So, yeah. Something I hadn't noticed is the back windows not perfect. That's whatever. That'll be the next guy's problem. Yeah. I'm still surprised at how good this bed is. That right there is the only spot I've seen that looks like it's rusted through. Other than that, the rest of the bed looks relatively clean. I mean, dented, beat up, and paint worn out, but not what I was expecting to see underneath of all the stuff that was in here. So that's the one upside. I expected the bed floor to look like this bedside, not like it does. So, you helping?
Yeah, just help the fingerprint.
Well, that's still cleaner than it would have been when we started. So, yeah. I don't remember where I set it down, but I have new fuel line and new fuel filter for it too now. I just went and picked them up. Oh yeah, I set them over there on the table. So we'll be doing that here later. But yep, that's just to show you where we're at now. So I got some advice from a buddy on what to do about the vents. So I may give cleaning the vents a second shot. Or I may just leave it as is and go good enough. I'm really on the fence because I don't want to have, this isn't the truck I want to have 30 hours in cleaning the interior and stuff on. I don't like it enough for that. I do like it enough to clean it up, so it's a good starting point for the next guy though. So that needs done yet, but yeah. All right. You want to shut up again and get something done. Okay, so I decided to give this a shot just to see what would happen. Here's literally me hitting it with a junk buffer wheel and some 3-in-1 wax. That is obviously not perfect because the clear coat is just shot. But that looks a damn sight better than that. So I didn't get to record any of it, but we're about an hour away from home at a Flying J, and I now have a transmission and water pump for the Rambler. So I guess you guys will know what will be happening next video. Yeah, alright. Tell you when we get home. We got the trailer picked up this morning, so we can get around to go get the MG here in a little bit. Right now we're waiting on my buddy Nino to show up. He is dropping off his Lexus GS 400 so we can put it on my hill for sale. He lives up in Cleveland, but has better luck selling stuff down here than up in Cleveland. So, and I think we are going to, for the minute, shove the truck back in the hole just to kind of get it out of the way, because when I get home I'm going to need room for the MG for a minute. So yeah, one thing at a time. Need to air this tire up, put it on the truck too. That's not happening right now though. Yeah, so okay. FedEx says my parts are supposed to be here today. We'll see when they show up, though. Oh, my buddy Nino's been here and gone, and I went and picked up the MG. All I can say is it's not what I was expecting. From certain angles, it doesn't look bad on camera, but the paint job needs completely redone. My buddy that did the work openly admitted that at the end of it here, he rushed it, and it needed completely sanded down, and he didn't have time. So, and then the hood paint did this and everything, because I guess he pulled it outside in the sun too quick or something. I'm not sure. So there's going to be probably 2 or 3 videos of me doing body work on this and correcting everything and repainting it. So, but yeah, we'll talk more about this in another video, because I don't think I can talk about it anymore right now. We'll be back on the truck in the morning. Oh, I slept on it. Still hate the paint job. Anyway, the clutch system showed up for the truck, as well as the new passenger side mount that I gotta figure out how I'm gonna make go from there to here has also showed up. So I can start on that here soon too, which means that is the last of the mounting stuff I need to be able to start figuring this engine completely out and getting it mounted. Which will probably be definitely not this video, probably not the next video, because this is going to be the next thing I do, is getting the transmission in the Rambler. Yeah. So there's that. Then, I hate my friends. I don't know what that is, but I can stop. I hate my friends. I remember why I got rid of this car. Because this is one of my old cars that my buddy Nino ended up with after it cycled through a couple of my other friends. I got rid of this thing because it's a lot of fun. It is a big V8 4-door. It is very fun to drive. We nicknamed it Big Booty Judy because, well, frankly, she got all the booty. She loves to get down. So yeah, I think he needs a Chevy truck, and I need a GS. But I gotta talk to him about it. I don't think he's gonna go for that deal, but it's worth a shot. So it's either that or it needs the. He brought it here because it won't pass emissions in Cleveland, and we don't have that down here in Findlay. So he wants me to put it over there on the hill and put a for sale sign in it for him. Which I'm going to do. I'm going to put a for sale sign in it and park it out on the hill. It's just a matter of whether or not I don't try to convince him that he needs a Chevy truck instead of cash, and then I need this in my driveway. Again, damn it. This was a fun car. I don't even remember why I got rid of it. I sold it to one of my other buddies because I think he needed a daily driver, and I didn't need it. And I told myself if I kept it, I was going to get in trouble with it. So, because frankly, if I get it back, I'll probably get myself in trouble with it. But, yeah, we'll see. Gotta get the truck fixed first, though, and then figure out what I can do. But for right now, though, we're going to Balloon Fest. I will try to record a little bit while I'm there and show you guys that. This went from being a very productive weekend to a very unproductive weekend in about a matter of 40 seconds yesterday. I've not recovered since. So, alright. I'm going to hop back off of here. I'll show you guys some of Balloon Fest when we get there. And I think I need to get a hold of Nino. So, it's been a week since I actually filmed anything about anything, because I dropped a socket on my phone, shattered my phone screen. Took me 2 days to get a new phone, and then after that, it was a fight recovering all of the footage from everything I just did to the truck over the last week. But as you can see, the truck and the van are both sitting out here on the hill with for sale signs in them. Well, that's because I took care of some debt that I had. I didn't necessarily pay it off, but I kind of moved it all around, made it one payment, made everything a lot cheaper. And we went and got the wife a RAV4, which you guys will see that here in a little bit. It's not right here, right this second. She drove it to work today. So we're selling the van, and I got the truck for sale too. The clutch is not done yet. I actually dropped the socket on my phone while installing the slave and master cylinder, and that didn't fix the problem. The new clutch sitting in there on the floorboard will fix the problem though. I'm just at a point I don't have time to work on it. Or I don't have a want to work on it. Hi. Why is that out here? You need to take it back up by the garage and ride it around up there. You can't ride it around in grass, baby. The wheels are too small.
I was going to tell her no, but I don't want to try.
Go. Go back up there with it, baby. So yeah, so that's the plan with these. Like I said, you guys will see that here in a couple. And I believe you may see tomorrow, I actually have this traded for something. So we'll reveal what that is tomorrow though, or maybe in another video. We'll see. So then, as I said, my buddy Nino was here and dropped off the Lexus. The Lexus was supposed to go on the hill, but in the process of everything on my phone, I drove this to work one day and ironically ran into the old owner that I didn't know was the old owner, and he wants to buy it back. So that is going back to the girl I bought it off of. Her fiance works with me and I didn't know it, and he's buying it back. So that ended up being a really quick thing to deal with. The Rambler's back in the garage to hopefully do the transmission. I was going to do the transmission this week, and that was going to be this week's video instead of the now 2-week-old video that is the truck video stuff. But I've spent 3 of my 4 days working on recovering the video, which I have now figured out how to actually share things between my phone and my lap, or my phone and my tablet that I've got to do everything on relatively well. And then you're going, oh, you had the Rambler, or not? You didn't have the Rambler in the garage last time we seen it inside the garage. You had the MG in the garage last time. Well, let's get to that. Something else we did, and I didn't get a chance to record it, was this right here used to be all grass. We filled it in with stone. Made this actually, it needs a couple more bags to be completely level with the concrete, but not bad. And we've decided we are going to stone all the way down both sides of the driveway to widen the driveway out. So as of right now, it fits the MGs side by side perfectly, with plenty of room to open the doors. Once we widen it out as far as we want to widen it out, I think, even though it'll be kind of close and kind of tight, if this MG is parked right on the edge of the stones, maybe even the tire on the concrete, this one is parked more over off center of the door this direction, and that one is parked hugging the stones that'll be on that side, I think all 3 of these will fit in here perfectly in a row. Still leave her plenty of room for the truck and now the RAV4 instead of the van. And everyone will be happy. So, and that will actually give me room to park 6 cars up here. I mean, which is great. Oh, it looks like Mom's box showed up. So, yeah. So that's the hope. That's where everything's at right now. Obviously, some of this is going to change. So, I don't know. I could be wrong on fitting 3 wide. That's also a very dangerous thought for me, because that means now I could, if I did it right, I could fit 3 there, I could fit 3 here, and still have room for her to park back there. Yeah, I could fit, theoretically, I could fit 6 British sports cars right here, and still have room for both of her daily drivers. Scary, scary thought. Definitely something I don't need to be doing, but, on the other list of things is, I think instead of me fixing the red MG, I'm going to do something that makes complete sense and trade what is a otherwise perfectly good car that needs minimal other work for a basket case MG that needs everything that thing needs and then everything else redone. And I think the plan is either I'm getting that and some money, or that and a Fiat X19 that has not been on the road for a decade or so, from my understanding, but ran when parked. You know how that goes. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's why you didn't see a video last week. I think before I actually finish this one up, we're going to wait and see what happens tomorrow with the truck. This is actually the second time I've recorded this ending. I've actually recorded 2 endings before this one, so you can say the third time. Well, actually, I guess it would be this is the second ending, and I typed a beginning for trying to hopefully get something out for the Rambler this week if I couldn't get the footage for the truck recovered. Well, I got that recovered, so here we are. Yeah, it's been a very eventful 2 weeks, and as you guys will probably notice, this is not exactly a short video for me. I think all in total is going to be like 2 hours long. Saying that as I've not edited it yet. I know I'm about halfway through the footage and I'm almost at the hour mark, and I think there's almost another hour's worth of footage that'll be added to it yet. I got some things to, you know, do the little speed up on and add some music and all that stuff, but yeah. Hey, why are these outside? Oh, my brand new pack of Sawzall blades, and they're just laying on the ground. Oh my gosh. That's no good. Can't have that. There we go. That's better. This poor car sees so much shit. But hopefully, not really telling you what the other car is that I might be getting on trade for the truck, but it will go very well with the Rambler. We'll put it that way. A matter of fact, if you know anything about music at all, especially if you like some goofy old little car songs, there is a music video, or not a music video, there's a song that references a Rambler. Sorry guys. References a Rambler and the other car I'm getting. So this also makes it very ironic that this thing doesn't want to shift into third. It only wants to be in second gear. So, I mean, there you go. Those are your hints. If you know anything about oddball car songs, you should be able to figure out what the second car is from there. Yeah. All right. So, we are going to end things here, and we will come back tomorrow with whatever the new car is. It is now Sunday again. As you can see, the truck is still sitting here. I have a pending trade on the truck, but the problem is it keeps raining. And with it raining, he can't get his trailer out of his yard for obvious reasons, because he doesn't want to tear up his yard, and I don't blame him. So it's looking like you guys will see this thing leave next video, because I am done trying to get anything done in this video related to the trade of this truck. I want to get this video done. My God, this has been the worst video I've ever made. Just trying to get it done because everything keeps getting in my way. It has been a rough one. But yeah, so you guys will see that next time. Until next time, guys, just remember, life is about the adventure, not the destination. Especially when you're working with crap like this and trying to sell things like that back there. You just gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Next video will be better, I hope. Everybody have a good week.